Gourmet magazine has been chronicling the way folks live and eat since 1941. Now the September anniversary issue of the magazine is celebrating 60 years of gastronomic goodies with some original recipes from years past. Zanne Stewart is the executive food editor of Gourmet. My friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I was amazed. You know, why would you start a magazine, not you, but why would they start a magazine in 1941? There was this little thing going on in Europe.
Oh, yes, the incident called the war.
Yes.
It was not the best time to start a magazine, certainly not an Epicurean magazine, but look at us, 60 years later.
Yeah.
You know, it worked.
Really?
And it actually, a lot of magazines dwell in the fantasy realm, and it was a good thing for people.
But Gourmet didn't when it started, right?
No, no, no. Gourmet was very, very rooted in what people in the world eat. And we still are.
Okay. So what was the criteria here when you were choosing recipes to include in this issue?
What tastes good.
Period.
What still tastes good after 60 years.
And you tried to get foods that were representative of the time or were most popular at the time?
Both. Both. I mean, we wanted to be able to make certain statements, but we also wanted food that would translate into today's kitchen.
Okay. Make a statement about the 40s. Why'd you choose lobster thermidor?
Oh, boy. It's just one of those dishes. I remember my grandparents talking about it, and it was a warhorse of the 40s. Delicious, but always kind of rich and overdone. I usually like lobster plain, steamed with a little butter.
Yeah. This is terribly French.
But this is so good.
Yeah,
and
it
doesn't kill the lobster.
It is pretty
really
good.
delicious.
It doesn't kill the lobster? You mean this guy's going to be live split in half?
No, I mean it doesn't kill the lobster flavor.
Oh, okay.
And then we've got these great mojitos.
Thank you.
Now, you're very welcome. Cheers.
What's in a mojito?
Mojito is white rum, lime juice, mint, and a little sugar muddled all together. People, you know, the kids today think that they invented mojitos. They're in the bars now. They're very popular. My grandparents were drinking mojitos in Havana at Sloppy Joe's in the 40s.
Okay.
It's great, great cocktail.
Are these the children's versions? Did we?
Oh, boy, are you grumpy?
I'm just curious. No, I'm just curious. All right, this is the one you and I are going to fight about, the 50s.
Okay.
The 50s, the decade when people had no imagination. You're going to tell me they were making this soup?
They were making this soup. Boy, and we published this recipe a lot.
Really?
Because of the electric blender. The electric blender
People used it to make tang, that's all.
No, the tang wasn't even around until the 70s. The electric blender was originally a bartender's tool. Fred Waring, the band leader, fell in love with it for making his daiquiris. He popularized this, and it came into the kitchen, and it cut a lot of time out of...
the 50s the dark ages for food?
Well, frozen foods, I guess, came in, but no, we had good recipes then.
All right, the 60s.
All right, now the 60s must have been 10 years too long for you because cheese fondue was the most popular dish.
Not in my neighborhood.
Not in your neighborhood. Okay, well, it sure was in mine.
All right, what are we drinking with this?
Sangria. Okay. Remember all the sangria parties? Or maybe you don't. They were, and we published dozens of recipes for sangria. This one is delicious.
That's better
really,
than mojito.
Really good.
Let's move on to the 70s.
The 70s.
Yet another thing with cheese.
Yeah, sorry, it wasn't
Janice
my
DeRosa,
choice.
Kim Williamson, thanks a lot. A lot of great planning there. Go ahead.
Fettuccine Alfredo. When we first published this recipe, we published it with a recipe for making your own pasta because we couldn't get really wonderful, thin pasta in those days. Now we can get it. It's imported. It's beautiful. We've made this with store-bought pasta, but this was when Americans discovered that Italian food didn't have to be just tomato sauce.
Yeah, didn't have to be spaghetti and meatballs. What are we drinking with it?
The Kir. It was, you know, it's a little bit, you know, lighter.
Yeah, a little foo-foo.
A little foo-foo, but it was the 70s.
What do we got here in the 80s?
Okay, we move
More
on.
cheese.
We're still in love. We're still in love with Italy, though. Porcini risotto. It's a beautiful rice dish, creamy, but no cream added. A little cheese at the end, and wonderful porcini mushrooms.
And the 90s?
The 90s, the wrap. We reinvented the sandwich using tortillas. Want to help me with it?
Go ahead. You're going to do it.
Okay, now this is something.
You're going to do it. We're going to wind up doing it during a commercial and tasting it at the back end.
Okay. It's a flour tortilla that's been lightly toasted so that it gets fluffy and not all kind of clammy and nasty. A chipotle mayonnaise, because we really want to try to make it up to you after all that cheese, and we know you like chipotle.
Right, and then you're going to put turkey and onions. I'm going to taste them when we come back, Zane.
Okay.
All right, hang on. We're going to take
Alrighty.
a break right here. 47 past the hour. We're back after this.